municipality holds big celebration on the anniversary of Unity Day. Head of Presidential Council and Saudi Defense Minister discuss peace efforts in Yemen. Constant power outages aggravate the suffering of people in Aden. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English news with me, Injil Zazi. Makka Directorate in Western Yemen organized a festival to celebrate the 33rd anniversary of Yemeni unity under the auspices of the National Resistance. In the context, the political parties and organizations reiterated that the southern issue is the issue of all Yemenis. This report has more.
The residents of Al-Makka, a landmark on the west coast, commemorate the accomplishment of Yemeni unification of its 33rd anniversary. Everyone here is standing on the heart of one man who refuses to follow those who want to go back in time after Yemen and Yemenis made advancements in all spheres of life and kept up with modernization despite the challenges they faced.
This event changed the history and brought Yemen out of the conflicts that lasted between the north and the south to new horizons of reconstruction and development. Whatever mistakes accompanied the Yemeni unity, the victories achieved and the great transformation in the lives of Yemeni people remain the greatest in the contemporary history of Yemen.
The Yemeni people used to give the 22nd of May a crown on the top of their heads, a badge on their foreheads. The Yemeni unification is expressed in this presence, which the people have come to expect each year from all the Yemenis areas without distinction or classification. And it represents the hardship of a people and the history of a homeland.
Thanks to the glorious 22nd of May 1999, many achievements that Yemenis are proud of being achieved. We are celebrating the Unification Day made by the later leader Ali Abdullah Saleh and all the patriots from the north and south. Unity has made Yemen become great globally. The unification of Yemen is considered part of the unity of the Arab world. Hopefully, we are now fighting a racist, priestly group and we will restore Yemen and it will return as it was unified with all its institutions.
Everyone expresses about the cohesiveness of their country and rejects all constricting initiatives. Yemenis view the unification as an unchanging constant and a destiny that follows a predetermined course.
For his part, the British ambassador to Yemen sent his congratulations to Yemenis in the Day of Unification.
السلام عليكم. بالنيابة عن المملكة المتحدة أود أن أنقل أطيب تمنياتي لشعب اليمن بمناسبة ذكرى يوم الوحدة. نأمل أن يأتي الدعم المستمر لجهود الوساطة التي تبذلها الأمم المتحدة ثمارة. اليمن بحاجة إلى السلام. شعب اليمن يستحق السلام. يجب أن يتم تحقيق السلام من خلال حوار يمني برعاية الأمم المتحدة، ومن الضروري أن يواصل الطرفان تعاونهما مع المبعوث الخاص للأمم المتحدة. يجب أن تكون الأسئلة حول مستقبل اليمن بما في ذلك الجنوب جزءا من عملية السلام الأوسع، لا أن تكوتها. إن الوحدة بين الأطراف اليمنية ضرورية للمساعدة في ضمان سلام ناجح ودائم.
The European Union stressed its commitment to the principles that guarantees the unity, sovereignty, independence and integrity of Yemen. The ambassador of the European Union mission to Yemen affirmed the EU's unwavering support for the peace efforts led by the United Nations. Rashad Al-Alimi, chairman of the Presidential Leadership Council, arrived today in the UAE capital on a short visit. The president of the PLC will hold meetings with the UAE leadership on developments in the Yemeni situation, especially with regard to economic and service reforms, and the required regional and international support for those reforms. Chairman of the Presidential Leadership Council received Prince Khalid bin Salman, Minister of Defense in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Prince Khalid bin Salman conveyed congratulations on the occasion of the Yemeni unity and affirmed the kingdom's continued support for the PLC in all fields. This report has more details.
Chairman of the Yemeni Presidential Leadership Council, Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, received in Riyadh on Monday Saudi Defense Minister Prince Khalid bin Salman. Prince Khalid congratulated Al-Alimi and the PLC on the occasion of Yemen's Unity Day. Saudi Arabia's defense minister has said Riyadh supports UN efforts toward a political solution to the conflict in Yemen. His statement followed the meeting with the head of Yemen's Presidential Leadership Council, Rashad Al-Alimi, in Riyadh. Prince Khalid said they reaffirmed the kingdom's unwavering support for the PLC and the brotherly Yemeni people and the UN envoy's efforts to reach a comprehensive and sustainable political solution in Yemen that achieves peace and prosperity for the country. This comes a month after Saudi Arabia began peace talks with the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Sana'a in a bid to revive a truce and reach a political solution. Talks resulted in the first phase of prisoner exchange last month, when more than 300 prisoners were released. A second round of prisoner swap talks, scheduled to begin this month, was postponed over a dispute about delays to prison visits. Hans Gromberg, the UN envoy to Yemen last week, urged parties to build on progress and take decisive steps towards a peaceful and comprehensive solution. Speaking at the UN Security Council meeting, Mr. Gromberg said he was encouraged by the positive and detailed discussions he had with Yemeni and regional parties. Al-Alimi and the Council members expressed their gratitude to Saudi Arabia's efforts in supporting their country's economy and development and relief efforts that are aimed at easing the suffering of the Yemeni people. Al-Alimi has been in Saudi Arabia since last Friday after attending the Arab League summit in Jeddah. In its final communique, the Arab League urged support for the stalled peace effort in Yemen. It reaffirmed international and regional efforts to reach a political solution to the crisis.
من قبل كان ما فيش دعم، يعني ما فيش إقبال كثير على المستوى الصحي.
والله الدعم نقل المركز نقلة غير عادية. المشروع هذا دعم المركز بكادر جديد، أمدنا احنا بكثير من الأجهزة والمعدات الطبية والأثاث، ووفروا لنا كثير من الأدوية الأساسية، خاصة مع الأدوية هذه تقدم المريض مجانا. المشروع قدم للمركز ميزانية تشغيلية ما كنا نحلم بها.
طبعا نحن راضيين الخدمات يقدمونها، كمية الخدمة ما شاء الله يقدمونها، ما قصروا جزاهم الله خير.
Rights Raider for Human Rights called on the Houthi group to stop the violations affecting the residents in Al-Bayda. Local sources stated that the Houthi group raided the residents' homes, arrested a number of them, and imposed a siege blocking all roads and outlets. Rights Raider held the Houthi group fully responsible for any consequences for the abductees. A citizen was killed as a result of a mine explosion planted by the Houthi militia northeast of Sana'a. Since the beginning of the war, the Iranian-backed Houthi militia has planted more than 2 million mines in various regions of the country, claiming the lives of thousands of innocent people, most of them women and children. In Aden, shortage in electric supply poses a great challenge to the people in the city. People are calling upon authority to swiftly interfere to put an end to the crisis. The following report has more details.
Constant power disruptions have continued to plague Yemen's southern port city of Aden throughout the city's blistering summer temperatures. Residents claim that every day electricity comes on for 1 hour and then goes off for 6 or 7 hours due to the government's inability to maintain the city's power plants and transmission networks.
We struggle with the current power outages, as most of our work relies on electricity. We must restore power because we deal with a load of demand from customers. Our workshop is open, but service has been suspended.
As the night descends, citizens are forced to acclimate to the darkness that cloaks the city. Attempts to condition the air are futile, and the heat drapes heavily on the shoulders of store tellers. As a lot of products cannot survive these heat waves, merchants have to endure the loss of valuable sale.
As merchants, we struggle with constant power outages as they push commodities that need refrigeration into expiry. We try to make do with solar panels and other portable power sources, but they are expensive. With maintenance and fuel, the bills tend to rack up by the end of the month. This is not a single man's issue. The whole population suffers from this phenomenon, and it has been going on for years.
The seaside ambience here provides a relative chance for Aden locals to escape the summer heat and the constant power outages.
Coming next in the news. Socotra, the iconic island of biodiversity, is troubled by the war. Welcome back. The second round of prisoner swap talks between the Yemeni government and the Houthis, which was scheduled to begin this month, has been postponed after both parties traded accusations over prison visit delays. More is in the following report.
During the first round of prisoner swap talks in Switzerland in March, the Yemeni government and the Houthis agreed to swap almost 900 prisoners during the holy month of Ramadan, as well as exchange visits to prisoners in each other's city, and to launch a second round of talks immediately after Ramadan, which ended on April 21. Both parties this week accused one another of impeding prison visits. A member of the government's delegation to prisoner exchange negotiations said the Yemeni government delegation postponed a visit to Houthi prisons after the militia refused to allow them to visit Mohammed Qahtan, a Yemeni politician held captive for 8 years. The agreement stipulates that everyone, including Mohammed Qahtan, is permitted to visit. Head of the Yemeni government delegation added that the second round of talks was scheduled to begin at the end of this month, but was delayed because of the agreement to exchange visits to Marib and Sana'a prisons failed to be put into practice. He anticipated that it will be delayed until mid-June as it is dependent on visits that have not been yet implemented. In Sana'a, the Houthi militia accused the Yemeni government of setting preconditions on their visits to prisoners in Ma'rib. Human rights groups voiced dissatisfaction with the postponement of prisoner swap discussions between the warring factions and urged the United Nations envoy Hans Grundberg and the Arab coalition to push for the talks to resume as soon as possible. The prisoner swap talks were postponed at the head of the Presidential Leadership Council, Rashad al-Alimi, affirmed that the Yemeni government would comply with peace efforts to end the war in Yemen, including the Syria Initiative, as well as revive state and institutions and alleviate the country's worsening humanitarian crisis.
The United Nations Population Fund in Yemen said that the recorded figures indicate that a Yemeni woman dies every 2 hours during childbirth. The United Nations Population Fund in Yemen said that women in remote areas in Yemen do not undergo regular checkups and they seek help in cases of bleeding or severe pain. According to the fund, the healthcare system in Yemen suffers from poor conditions, which worsened even further after the war. Dubai branch of the Chinese oil company announces the nullification that was signed with the Houthi militia regarding Yemeni oil fields development. The nullification came after the Chinese authorities denied having any relationship with the agreement. The chargé d'affaires of the Chinese embassy in Yemen told Yemeni Foreign Minister Ahmed bin Mubarak that it is a private company and doesn't represent the Chinese government. Socotra is an island of the Republic of Yemen in the Indian Ocean. The island is known for its beautiful sceneries and landscape. More is in the following report.
Socotra, rich in land and strange plant life, is perhaps one of the most unusual places on the globe. Unfortunately, this stunning natural island has now fallen on hard things after being involved in Yemen's complex civil conflict, one of the world's greatest humanitarian catastrophes. Socotra is a small island in the Indian Ocean, about 340 kilometers, which is 210 miles off of the coast of Yemen, near the tip of Somalia at the mouth of the Gulf of Aden. It's technically an archipelago made up of 4 islands, with Socotra being by far the largest. It's known for its remarkable biodiversity, which includes several species found nowhere else on Earth. According to UNESCO, 37% of Socotra's 825 plants, 90% of its reptile types, and 95% of its land snails are found nowhere else on the planet. The dragon blood tree, a strange-looking tree that weeps blood like red sap from its trunk, is one of the most iconic species found in the island of Socotra. Despite its remoteness, the island is not immune to the worldwide impacts of climate change. A study in 2007 has showed that as a result of the island's acidification, the number of dragon blood tree could be reduced by nearly half within the next century. The Arabic name for the dragon blood tree is Damm al-Akhawain, which means the blood of 2 brothers. Socotra's name is claimed to be taken from the Arabic Souq Socotra, which means market of dragon's blood. The island is also known as Galapagos of the Indian Ocean, or the Jewel of the Gulf of Aden, due to its stunning natural surroundings. This lovely island, however, is in danger. Historically, Socotra belonging to Yemen, but in more recent times it has become under the control of the United Arab Emirates. The island is trapped in the midst of the conflict in the meantime, with no sign to the ending of the Yemeni crisis. But there is still some hope that efforts could be made to protect the island for future generations.
Here's a reminder of the main headlines. Makkah City holds big celebration on the anniversary of Unity Day. Head of Presidential Council and Saudi Defense Minister discuss peace efforts in Yemen. Constant power outages aggravate the suffering of people in Aden. This is the end of the news. It was Injil Zazi. Thank you for watching.